Stage 9 of the 2017 Tour de France was a beast of a stage, 182 Ks, over 4,000 meters of climbing, and the winner, Uran, did it in 5 hours, 7 minutes and 22 seconds, so just over 5 hours. Massive stage. So the average speed for the stage was 35.4 Ks an hour, and that's incredibly fast considering they had over 4,000 meters of climbing to do for the stage. Looking at the overall stats here, I can see that it was one hell of a stage. 319 TSS for the stage. So to give you an idea how hard that is, that's the same as doing 3.19 all-out time trials, 1 hour all-out time trials in just over 5 hours. The calories that Uran burnt was 4,400 calories, and the normalized power for the stage was 292. So his power to weight ratio in terms of normalized power was 4.63 watts per kilo. His average power was 238 watts, so 3.78 watts per kilo for the stage, and that's a hell of a lot considering there was also an incredible amount of descending to do for the stage as well. Another significant measurement was his 6-minute power for the stage. It was 381 watts, and that's just over 6 watts per kilo. So it's definitely within the realm of possibility for a natural rider. What I like about Training Stress Score is you can see just how hard the tour is day after day and week after week. In the hardest weeks of the Tour de France, these guys are accumulating over 1,800 TSS. So that's the same as 18 all-out 1 hour time trials for 1 week. That's just insane. On top of that, they do it in about 30 hours. So that's the same as doing 60 TSS per hour. And this is day after day. So the power meters have truly revolutionized the way that we can analyze the Tour de France. So for the start of the stage, it was really aggressive. There were 2 climbs, and in the 2 climbs it was 25 minutes and 20 seconds that Uran did, 4.87 watts per kilo, 307 watts. So a nice tempo ride for him, just sitting with the GC contenders. When you look at the stage profile though, it only looks like 1 climb. So the next climb they did was the Col de la Biche, which is 10.5 Ks at 8.7%. So another horse category climb there. And Uran did a nice tempo ride at 4.68 watts per kilo. Average power 295 watts. And here they say it was very steady effort with no significant surges in power. So the race was being controlled there by the big boys. What's also interesting to note is that his heart rate was really low at 156 beats per minute. We don't know what his max heart rate is, but I'm guessing it's somewhere around 200, and 156 should be relatively easy for most of these guys. And it just goes to show how much fatigue they accumulate over the course of the tour. On the 3rd climb, the Grand Colombier, the pace was being put down solidly, and this is quite a beast of a climb, 8.15 Ks at 10.1%, so not playing around there. Uran's power was 327 watts and 5.2 watts per kilo, and his heart rate was slightly elevated at 167. And 5.2 watts per kilo was enough to slim the peloton right down. There were 2 spikes in effort on this climb. On the steepest section it was 355 watts, 5.63 watts per kilo for 6 minutes and 40 seconds, and also the last K where Uran rode for 3.5 minutes at 5.73 watts per kilo. All of this is still achievable as a natty rider, but keep in mind that these guys have also been racing for 8 days, so the legs have accumulated a lot of fatigue. The final climb of the day was the Mont du Chat, and it was a big one as well, 8 kilometers at 10.1%, and this is where the peloton really splits apart, 5.44 watts per kilo for just under half an hour. In the last 3 Ks of the climb, Fabio Aru launched a massive attack, and in order to cover that, Uran had to hold 6 watts per kilo normalized power for 8 minutes and 12 seconds. At this point, only Froome, Port, Martin, Bardet, Aru and Fuglsang were with Uran. 81 average cadence with a 32th rear sprocket shows just how steep the climb was. I'm not sure if he had a compact crank on the front or a regular crankset, but I'm thinking he had a regular crankset there on the front. So the final K of the stage was the anaerobic part of the stage, and we can see from the stats that Uran has a world-class sprint. So in the final K, Uran was in second position, sitting on Froome's wheel as they negotiated the final turns leading into the finish in Chambéry. In the section between 1K to go and the right-hand bend with 550 meters to go, Uran averaged 463 watts, 521 normalized power, so that's quite a big difference there. Shows you it was quite a spiky effort for 35 seconds as he rode behind Chris Froome. The final push for the line was started by Fuglsang, and he made an attack with 440 meters to go. Uran was the first to respond to this move, and it was at this point when he hit his peak power of 1,189 watts. And this is a lot for a 63 kilogram guy, 18.73 watts per kilo jumping on the Dane's wheel. On the following 210 meters, when he was making the bridge, Uran had to make a final effort of 1,025 watts at 83 RPM as he wrestled his big gear. He kept the effort going into the last 150 meters, averaging 816 watts and sprinting at nearly 56 k's an hour. So in conclusion, the pace was between 5 and 5.5 watts per kilo on the big climbs of the stage, and it's a lot lower than what you'd expect from the GC contenders of the Tour de France. And this is a good sign. It means that the sport is definitely getting a lot cleaner. So now we can see that the performances of this year's tour look believable, and you can definitely compete as a pro if you want to, but be prepared to take crazy risks and be prepared to break bones. And also be prepared to push yourself to the absolute limit psychologically and physiologically. If you can handle that, then this is the sport for you.